Hello, good evening. Welcome to this Moneycontrol live closing bell with me, Yatin Mota. Obviously, when you talk about the Indian stock markets, we are in a roaring bull market and a raging bull today. The Nifty was slightly mixed in trade for the first half, but second half we had conclusively seen the Nifty trade above that 25,550 mark. And now if you look at the Nifty closing, it is close to 22,600. So good buying seen in the last 15-20 minutes of trade. Sensex also ended the day higher by nearly 267 points. Obviously the banks were slightly lagging today, like yesterday ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, SBI, all of these stocks were lagging, and the Nifty bank was down by nearly 266 points despite the fact that the broader markets and the benchmark indices were higher in trade. Probably this is the reason why the advance decline ratio was almost 1:1. But if you look at sectors which did the best today were FMCG, real estate and energy stocks. Energy stocks obviously led by ONGC as well as the big boy Reliance Industries. Obviously metal saw some profit taking and banks were lagging, as I said earlier. But if you look at Nifty 50, the top contributor today was Reliance Industries. Nearly 50% of today's Nifty move can be attributed to Reliance Industries move. Obviously we also had stocks like Cipla, HUL, ITC contributing positively to the markets, and the top gainers also include stocks like Tata Consumer as well as Coal India. On the losing side, we had SBI, Hindalco, Apollo Hospitals, which fell nearly 1.5%. But overall, it was a healthy day for the benchmark indices except for the Nifty Bank. Now, let's talk about Nifty 500, wherein stocks like LIC, GIC, Ray, as well as New India Assurance were gaining in trade. BEML is on a roadshow with a brokerage, and that stock moved nearly 10% in trade. What was not doing well post the result is GSFC, stock was down 8%, Medanta post the results down 7%, BHEL, and it was a dismal Q4 performance from them, weak margins. However, the silver lining here was that the order book, especially from the thermal power sector, has boosted the overall order book, probably providing some bit of support at the current market price. Hindustan Aeronautics closing on to that 5,000 mark, stock is at 52-week highs. BEL, which is Bharat Electronics, good guidance when it comes to the order book. Stock was up nearly 3.5%, trading at record levels. Mind you, Nuvama Research expects BEL to be a part of Nifty 50 in the September review, and probably there is some build up in that particular stock as well. Today on our show, we have Hemen Kapadia from KR Choksi Shares and Securities. Hemen, welcome to the show. Talking about the important Nifty levels and the markets, banks were lagging in trade. What is your overall sense of the market? Can we see a further rally to record levels on the Nifty?
Very good afternoon to you, Yatin. Thank you for having me on the show. It's always a pleasure. Frankly speaking, the week still has an upside left. With the VIX at 21.5, one would be slightly reticent about going too bullish, because if you see in 2019, just before it's natural, it's such a huge event risk, so the elections coming up, results, So the fear index, as we call it, the VIX had gone to 29 in 2019, Yatin, and to 39 in 2014.
Right.
So from that point of view, the VIX has a lot of upside left if I were to take history. But this, I'm not a political person, but this seems to be the election where the outcome is almost certain from whatever media coverage that we see. So frankly speaking, if the VIX doesn't go up significantly about 22, that would make the market a little more healthy. Ideally a drop below 20 would sort of energize bulls further. Coming back to main question, I think the lag as far as the bank Nifty has been concerned, it's not very surprising, Yatin, if you go back in time. In the last 3.5 years, HDFC Bank and Kotak Bank have gone nowhere. And if you go back the last 20 years, Yatin, they've been leading the markets. And the weightage of private sector banks on the bank Nifty have always been traditionally higher.
Correct.
So if you are two prime blue chips, which have led the market for decades, take a backseat for whatever reason. I'm not getting into the fundamentals of it. So, but if they have taken a breather or a prolonged consolidation phase, I could term it technically, for 3.5 years, it's a natural thing that the bank Nifty will lag a bit. But 48,200 is a swing high recently. I believe HDFC Bank has staged a recovery, but this is more from an intraday point of view. So 48,200 gets taken out, Yatin. I believe Bank Nifty should bounce back and bounce back well. I'm not saying it's going to play catch up because the high is around 49,975, Yatin, while the Nifty high is slightly closer if I were to compare both of them.
Absolutely, and HDFC Bank is something which pulled up in the last 15-20 minutes of trade. But let's also, get in Hemin's view on the stocks that we probably will present you today. The stocks that are in focus, and starting with BEL. Now, Bharat Electronics, this is one stock which is in focus. We have the company's management which said that the order inflow, excluding the MSM-RM missile systems, could be close to 25,000 crores. Most importantly, the management also guided about 1,000 crore revenue coming in from the export markets. Now, BEL expects the EBITDA margins of nearly 23 to 25% in FY25, which is quite healthy given the fact that they are expecting the revenues also to grow more than 15%. This stock is at a record level, and defense stocks, the likes of BEL, HAL, Mazgaon Dock, Kochi Shipyard, all of them are close to their record levels. Obviously, when it comes to the large ticket orders, Make in India program is wonderfully working for these defense companies, especially HAL and BEL, and both of them are prime contenders for the inclusion inside Nifty 50. Let's understand the defense stocks from Hemin as well from the technical chart point. Hemin, both HAL and BEL have done fantabulously well over the last 1.5-2 years. Multi-bagger returns for investors. From here on, which are the defense stocks to watch out for? Do you think these stocks are overbought, or probably there is some more steam left in all of these stocks?
Most of them seem a bit overbought, Yatin, but
okay.
If I look at the charts, I mean, the market itself has been that way. From 7,500 in Nifty on 23rd Feb 2020 during COVID days, we've gone to 22, almost 23,000.
Correct.
So, yes, there have been cool off time and again. Now, if you were to look at BEL, obviously there's the price is adjusted for a bonus somewhere in 2022, but from 20 to 283. So, yes, tad bit overbought, yes, but on any time frame, Yatin, if you see daily chart, weekly chart, monthly chart, overbought, yes, but I haven't come across negative divergence. And more importantly, no significant levels have broken.
Okay.
So the way I see it, that despite, technically also it looks, the quantum is a bit scary actually. But I believe that BEL is heading towards 325, if not more. Kochi, and you mentioned, and most of the
Hindustan Aeronautics.
In fact, I think everything, despite the move, still seems to have legs to go. And as far as HAL is concerned, that has also been, frankly speaking, on a perpendicular rise. But despite the rise, I'd say if I were to take a slightly longer term point of view, near term, sheets could be a bit less, there could be wobbly, there could be a correction coming in. But if I were to take a longer term point of view, like you mentioned, the order book and all, HAL is going comfortably to 7,500, but this is probably a 2-year point of view. Near term, I would say everything is hunky dory. But looking at the quantum of the rise, I would say be just a bit cautious, apply your stop losses very clearly, and please keep in mind we have a major election result coming in. So there are a lot of expectations. The markets might not completely synchronize or relate to how the politics play out. So word of caution, but everything on charts, and if you tell me which picks I like, I will go for HAL even now. But ideally a buy on decline. There have been dips time and again, so I'll add on a decline.
Absolutely. So these are the two stocks, BEL and HAL. The outlook on the charts remains strong. But as Hemin was saying, that we are in a middle of an event, which is a political result of Lok Sabha elections, wherein the expectation is that the BJP will form the government. But yes, there could be some near-term volatility, and you could get these stocks at a bargain. Keep your stop losses when you see these stocks as a trader. Probably as an investor, there could be some opportunities that you could get in the near term. Talking about the pharmaceutical space, today Sun Pharma reported earnings, and post that the stock moved nearly 3.5% intraday from the day's low, recovered, ended about the day's high. And when it comes to Cipla, that is also one stock which moved in trade. One of the top gainers on the Nifty, 3.5% higher, wherein they got somatulene drug approvals from the US Federal Drug Administration. When it comes to the US sales for this particular drug, it is close to 7,600 crores annually, and this blockbuster drug probably could get in sales of over 1,000 crores when it comes to analyst expectations for the sales in the US markets. With the launch of this drug, probably in the US markets, we could see some growth coming in for Cipla, and most importantly, the overall sales realizations also should move up, given the fact that the US pharmaceutical market is one of the profitable markets for Cipla. And after this, drug, which is a complex drug, the approval which has come in after quite some time, especially in their US facility, that could be a game changer. Probably that is the reason why, as I mentioned earlier, that the stock ended nearly 3.5% higher. Hemen, let's talk about the pharmaceutical space and defensive stocks, especially ITC, HUL, Cipla, Sun Pharma. All of these stocks, have witnessed some bit of buying. Probably, ahead of election outcome, people are moving their fund positions into Pharma and FMCG stocks. Which stocks, according to you, are poised to probably give good returns in this calendar year when it comes to the FMCG stroke the pharmaceutical space?
I can take just 30 seconds of yours, Yatin. The Nifty Pharma Index has been consolidating for 15 weeks.
Okay.
15 weeks in a range between 18,200 on the downside and 19,400 on the upside. And we're on the cusp of breaking out. I'm saying cusp because we need a closing on a Friday, so the weekly charts are from So if we've closed at 19,317 with the intra-day high of 19,422. So the pharma index, frankly speaking, was one of the first stocks or first indices to do well, and once again, after a 15 week correction, it seems set to reclaim its glory again. So like you've spoken about Cipla looks very interesting. Aurobindo Pharma continues to do well, and with the Nifty Pharma Index on the verge of breaking out, I think Zydus posted a fresh all-time high day before. So Cipla also looking positively interesting. Biocon has finished 3.5 year correction. So the sector itself looks very interesting. And like you said, where merit is seen and companies are delivering good results, I believe pharma is going to do well. So if you ask me to take a pick, I believe Cipla looks very interesting along with Aurobindo Pharma. The FMCG, like you mentioned, yes, I think FMCG index was down in the dumps for quite some time. And now, as you mentioned, the election anticipated volatility has seen the FMCG index stage a comeback, Yatin. It's formed a rounding bottom on the weekly chart, which is a bullish formation. Most of the mechanical indicators have given a buy, crossover buy. So Britannia was the first of the blocks, so to speak. Britannia just gave a breakout from a symmetrical triangle yesterday, and without getting too technical, a 5-month decline has now been reversed, and Britannia seems set to post a fresh all-time high. HUL isn't going to be far behind, is playing catch-up, will do well. So does Dabur, so does Marico, and so does Godrej Consumer. So if you tell me to take a pick, difficult to choose, but it would probably be Britannia, Dabur, and HUL in that order. Yeah.
Okay, Hemen, some important levels that Hemen pointed out, especially in the pharma index, when we are on the possible cusp of a breakout with Cipla and Sun Pharma leading that index. And when it comes to the FMCG pack, yes, there are some green shoots with respect to demand, especially with the normal monsoon around. So we'll watch out for both, FMCG as well as pharma stocks, they being the defensive stocks ahead of the election outcome, probably in the first week of June. Hemen, thank you so much for being on the show, and thank you so much for probably analyzing all of these stocks with us at Moneycontrol.
Thank you for having me.
So with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Closing Bell. Do stay tuned to Moneycontrol for all your business news updates as well as breaking news. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow 9 a.m. with the market setup.